Hey guys, and Colin coming back at you. So, just a quick one. Just wanted to have a quick talk about Kevin Rudd and less specifically Friendly Geordies, which is, I hesitate to say popular. It's popular with a certain type. Anyway, it's a YouTube channel, gets a bit of traction here in Australia with some children, I would suppose, and imbeciles. And let's not forget the pseudo-intellectuals who don't realise they're morons. So this is Kevin Rudd. He was former Prime Minister of Australia. He's a Labor dude. In terms of comparison, that would be equivalent to, say, something like the Republican Party in the US. He was Prime Minister for a while. He's a major Chinese lick ass, and he got ousted. I'm pretty sure it was in 2007. Let's check. And nope. So this is Kevin Rudd. He's basically a Chinese interloper that pretends to be an Australian politician. Where are we here? Member of Parliament. Prime Minister first term. 2010, my bad. So he got ousted for lack of confidence and was taken over by this witch who's when asked what religion she practiced, her response was, "I'm in a secret society and no more questions. Let's move on." So she is a piece of work, but that's for another day. So today we're dealing with old Rudzilla. Here he is, back in 2005. Now we've had a massive problem in Australia with a certain country trying to use their financial influence along with threats of actual physical violence and economic repercussions, let's say, upon people. There was a car dealer, I think it might have been Melbourne or Sydney, in the recent federal election, who allegedly was approached by these people, basically asked, "Hey, do you want to be in politics?" The guy's like, "Yeah, okay, I'll run." Got given a whole lot of money, ran, lost, kept the money, ran, and then killed himself. You can't see, but I'm doing the air quotations of killed himself. Later it was found out that this particular Asian group had basically corrupted him and would have been the proverbial hand up the rectum operating the mouth. Now, let's just say he was just one that got caught. So there's our boy now. An embarrassment to his own legacy amid this fatwa against News Corp. Now, News Corp is the Rupert Murdoch news outlet in Australia. It's one of the very few that's not under the control of, is it BlackRock? Black Box? There's a conglomerate that basically owns all of the media. I don't know if you've seen the video where it's mostly American talking heads and they're literally reading the same script verbatim, and somebody did a pretty cool video where it was just broken up into, the whole screen was just like snapped into little quadrants, and they were all just the same script being read by all these different voices, and it came into a chorus. Anyway, so on to Friendly Geordies. So this is our well, they're not my friend, they're Friendly Geordies. They basically seem to be a political arm of the Liberal Party, whose job seems to be pushing the libtard agenda on the younger generation. Maybe people who are not sophisticated enough to figure it out, are still highly impressionable to peer pressure, and refuse to think for themselves and just jump on the whatever's cool bandwagon. Now you see this guy's, all credit to you, friendly douchebag. You're crushing with the views. Obviously got a bit of algorithmic push, which I'm not surprised, because you're pushing the narrative. What's a good one that I can show you? Have I got one lined up here? Okay, well, let's just cut to... Here we go. So this is supposed to be objective journalism, but the
Murdoch press has been incessantly advertising.
It's this guy. I think his name's Jordan. I'm not too sure. He's just a bootlicker for the Labor Party. And look, let's just, before we go any further, politics is a joke. If you think you're going to solve your problems with politics, good fucking luck. Get a speeding ticket. Is politics going to help you? No. The law is what runs the country. And what runs the law? The money. As Amir Baron Rothschild once said, give me control of a nation's finances and I care not who makes its law. So that's your hierarchy. Money, law, politics.
This documentary that went on Sky that was called Men in the Mirror, and there was a little lightning bolt down the side that had mouth.
So you got this sarcastic that must be stupid because I'm making fun of it with my box head and green shirt. Now excuse me while I fillet this ex-Prime Minister.
Malcolm Turnbull on one side and Kevin Rudd on the other. I think that the overall general theme is that they're the same guy. Can you tell from the advertising? Probably, because it's pretty...
What I really can't stand is he's biting my shit and doing my impersonations to insult people.
Overt. So, I went and watched...
It's pretty much just an Aussie thing to do, to whack on the voice and lay shit on cunts.
It, and I think that from the length, you will see that I have a special guest.
Here we go.
Have you ever seen MasterChef?
Have you ever seen my balls? Would you like to? Come here, honey bear.
No, but Teresa's a big fan of MasterChef, and I've sort of glanced at it as we, as I walk over to make myself a cup of coffee.
Right.
You think
Just
It looks like old Kevy's not too sure how this interview's going to go. Like, he's purposely tried to get super cash. Pretty sure he doesn't get out of a suit ever. Pretty sure he showers in one while speaking Chinese to his Chinese overlords.
fill you in on the last 15 years, they've obviously got the editor to do that. That's why they've got that really cheap dramatic music where they've got...
Coming to the point, he's got a huge problem with Sky News for reporting the truth. Like, how fucking dare they?
I don't know, generic Hans Zimmer.
that is MasterChef music, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's kind of they and then they had the pan shot of all this.
So this is just an attempt to personalise this complete douche. This guy's I think he's a bit light in the loafers. Oh.
All the ovens, is that right?
Yeah.
Is everyone looking panicked with their bowls of goo, which they're about to make into stuff?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
So a failed attempt to personalise this robotic politician, essentially. Incidentally, also the politician who was on deck when the 28, count 'em, 28, 10 plus 10 plus 8 more members of the federal parliament are pedophiles. They love the NAMBLA, but we can't tell the people. So all those names have been suppressed under a 99-year suppression order. So we can't find out who they are. People from the Justice Department, judges, etc., etc. The reason they decided that the best thing to do was to suppress these names is because, well, it would damage the confidence in the judicial and the political system. Because having a bunch of pedophiles damages the confidence in the judicial and the political system. But if we just suppress their names, then it's all okay. Fucking bullshit. So, Yep. Friendly Geordies, bunch of arse lickers. This is a psyop aimed at young imbeciles who find this like pseudo straight. He's like who's that douche? He's a redhead guy on the juice. Claims to be natty. Comedian. Well, he's not really a comedian. He just says a lot of sarcastic shit. And, you know, everybody knows sarcasm is the lowest form of humor. You know, it's a close tie with puns, but, you know, puns are acceptable because, you know, they take some thought. But, yeah, just wanted to hit you guys up and let you know that these guys are the media wing of this guy and his agenda to come back into politics, although he's pretending that he doesn't want to. And the guys, excuse me, the guys for this is that Scott Morrison is so horrible. I mean, Scott Morrison's a fat idiot. Anyone can see that. But Scott Morrison is so horrible at rolling out the vaccine that we had to get Kevin Rudd, okay Diddy, to ring up the Pfizer guy to get us the poison drugs, vaccines, to save us all, because Scott Morrison couldn't do it. But, look, anybody that thinks that politics is going to save them is a fucking fool. Politics is a divide and conquer strategy. These guys are like they're like the admin, they're like the promo team that's targeting the younger generation with these stupid ass videos. Let's watch another one. Let's see, where's one that's going to illustrate the point? Here we go. We're all butthurt about Sky News telling the truth.
The bowling ball response.
Like the problem is not what Sky News is saying. The problem is that Sky News is the only channel in Australia that's putting out a contrary point of view to the absurd, utterly absurd nonsense that's being spouted by the MSM here. And this is their way to try and fight back against it.
Responded to Kevin Rudd and I responding to the Bowling Balls documentary, which clearly is the proudest.
Because, you know, calling somebody names is obviously the best way to debate them. Like, just ad hom, and we win. Like, we've all experienced this in the FE community. They've got no arguments, so they just like, you are a pee-pee head.
Accomplishment of his life, because he bothered to put up YouTube fluorescent lights in the background. Ooh, high budget cable TV. And may I just say, stupid right! For those of you who are new to the saga, Chris Kenny was told by his masters at Sky that he had to make a damning expose of both.
No, that's also the point. They think that Rupert Murdoch is telling these guys like, hey, report this and do that and blah, 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 blah.
Kevin Rudd and Malcolm Turnbull and how they're similar, I guess, I think is the thesis.
Malcolm Turnbull made a recent run at coming back in. They had tried to reintroduce him into some... I can't remember what the role was, but anyway, it pissed everybody off. He fucked something up, and then he quickly got the ass. Anyway, this video is dragging on a bit long. Friendly Geordies, obviously a bunch of cuckboy juices. And while I'm at it, let me just give a big ups to Aussie Cossacks, who is legit laying the smackdown. He's getting mad attention from the popo, and it's not the good kind. They're slapping him with all sorts of fines. He's in New South Wales. Fortunately, down here in the old Vigzilla, we're not catching it quite so bad. But, New South Wales and Sydney is an absolute shit show at the moment. If you want to see something hilarious, Gladys Berejiklian and Brad is a Hazzard got called into an inquiry. Actually, let me just show you that real quick. Hazzard and what's her name? Chant inquiry. Where's some footage of it? Come on, baby. Gimme. It can't have been that long ago. Might put a D on Hazzard. Chant inquiry footage. Now, I don't know how many of you guys have seen Team America World Police, and I don't know if you remember. What's his name? Anyway, so Brad Hazzard launches into the full Hans Blix. Do you have any idea how fucking busy I am? That's his entire defense throughout this whole thing.
My first question is to Dr. Chant. Dr. Chant.
We had the West Hoxton birthday party, which was a major case.
Excuse me.
That's what caused it. Of course, you'd remember it was the Joe Bailey cluster.
Down did have effect to be engaged with.
That's getting real butthurt.
And the link to the Newcastle cluster.
Right.
So we have seen because it doesn't matter if we had a 50% overall coverage.
Reiterate that message: vaccinate, 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 if at all possible. Dr. Jang, could I take you back to the commencement of the current outbreak?
Let's see if this is
the 16th of June.
So basically, this guy, all of these panel members asking like fairly reasonable questions, and these are the kind of responses that we're getting.
Was when we had the first effective community transmission from the driver to the driver's partner. At that stage, we knew it was all we saw.
The exposures, whether there were directions about detected. So all I can say our public.
It's too early. Let's try a little bit further down here.
Support the partner, support the person giving birth. So if you've got any cases like that where it hasn't happened, let me know and I'll discuss the issues properly. We're here to do it. We came voluntarily.
Oh, here we go.
The crisis cabinet
This is
did
what I'm talking
challenge.
about. Okay, this is going to be great. So these guys, they're members of parliament, and he's the health minister, and she is the bureaucrat that's in charge of health. Not this lady, Kerry Chant.
Her advice and chose to lock.
Absolutely wrong. Every time urgently. So I don't know what the issue is here. It's just, if it's a beat up on the government, well, okay, we're here, but beat it up somewhere else, will you? Because Dr. Chant's really busy and I'm really busy.
Do you have any idea how busy I am?
If you want to actually discuss the issues properly, we're here to do it. We came voluntarily.
So this is after being asked a question that they didn't really like, how come only the people that are over the natural life expectancy age seem to be dying of this virus? Oh, geez, I said the V word. Uh-oh.
We didn't have to be here. Please just ask the questions. We'll give you the answers.
Minister,
So
why
don't-
won't you release the advice then that Dr. Chant provided the cabinet to assure this committee and to assure the public that you listened to the chief health officer in the middle of a pandemic?
Well, I don't.
Because I don't listen to anybody and I do what I want.
Lock down when we locked down.
Kate, you didn't just listen because she just told you quite clearly that we responded as quickly as humanly a government could. So I'm sorry, you're just wrong, plain wrong. And we're not going to release crisis cabinet documents.
Okay, I'm just going to dip into body language ghost here. So you can see this woman guarding the midsection. That's like an old ass instinct. When you feel threatened, she's got her legs crossed, she's covering right up. She's got the arms folded, covering the midsection. That's like a defensive posture. Like, she's uncomfortable about these questions. Because, I mean, obviously, if I was doing what she was doing, I would be shitting myself coming into something like this, knowing all the lies I told.
Or cabinet documents to you, if you want.
Not to mention all of the people that got put on those forced assisted breathing devices that they were unable to recover from.
To be part of the government, Kate, join the government, but you're not.
Oh, sick burn, bro.
Minister, we'll go to vaccination.
Oh.
The New South Wales Health has a policy, and I think you alluded to it earlier, that is the policy for occupational assessment, screening and vaccination against specified infectious diseases. And this includes hepatitis B, tuberculosis and even the flu. 6 people have now died as a result of 2 partially vaccinated healthcare workers at the Liverpool hospital contracting the virus and passing it to patients. Why did you not work on a policy to ensure it was mandatory for healthcare workers to receive the COVID-19 vaccination before this latest pandemic?
Because do you know how fucking busy I am?
Before this latest outbreak.
First, can I say that it's extremely sad for every one of the families that anybody passes away.
We got more of the whole, oh, I'm just going to hide behind my hands. Please stop attacking me. And he's not really being attacked. Like, these are legitimate questions. I mean, we would probably have a different line of questioning for those of us who can see what the fuck's going on, but they're all playing their little game, so.
Away at any time, but certainly in this COVID pandemic. And so my sympathy goes to each of those families who had to suffer as their loved ones were passing away.
Look at this one.
I don't think it helps to make political advantage of that, Kate, but as I was told this was an inquiry, but now I'm seeing it's more than that. So I'm going to let Dr. Chant answer those questions.
Can I just, Minister, it's extraordinary that you think I'm making political advantage of something when I'm asking you a question about why you have not...
See, this is just the typical deflection bullshit, like, stop asking me hard questions, I don't like it.
I've got to say, available. I think the issue became, we had already commenced work on insurance.
Thank you, Dr. Chan. And Minister, the invitation is until 2 o'clock. It's only another 18 minutes. There are a number of additional questions. And
Great. He gets like super butthurt here.
Ask for both of your cooperation and patience until then.
David, it was agreed that we would do it 1 hour. You've now had an hour and 15 minutes, and we have to prepare for other matters this afternoon.
Well, Minister, again, the invitation was for an hour and a half. And Dr. Chan, I think there are a number of questions.
I accepted for an hour.
Thank you. Well, Dr. Chan,
Mr. Chair, I think it's to reflect that the government did give up its time on this. The Minister has outlined, as has the Chief Health Officer, that they were here for an hour. I've seen the correspondence back to the committee, and that was reiterated.
Minister, and I do appreciate it. I know it's the Minister to spend the next 17 minutes answering questions rather than having a procedural Dr. Chan committee.
Precedent 130 from the committee, I think it is.
Government members, but I'd invite Dr. Chant.
So basically what he's doing here is trying to avoid having her to have to answer this question because it's damning.
I appreciate
Minister, and I do appreciate it. I know it's hard. I know you're tired.
I agree for an hour. You've had an hour and a quarter. That's it.
Well, Dr. Chant, I will ask this question of you. Dr. Chant, you and the Minister have both referenced the West Hoxton incident, which I think occurred on the 19th of June, but was very clear to you by the 23rd of June that was an incident causing real concerns about the spread of the Delta variant. Is that right?
Look, I'd have to refer to the particular time that we were concerned about more. I'm not trying to be evasive. I just haven't had the opportunity to go through that time sequence. But clearly, yes, that is the concern. That at the time it was felt that it got there very early. That everyone had been isolated before they would have become too infectious because of the time sequence, but that turned out to be not the case in that circumstance, or at least that
that's what I have with spread from where and being locked down. How
immediately that I haven't answered that on notice if that would assist the committee.
I had a number of people contact my office, and I'm resources to.
Well, you tell us you've had some cases. I'll answer it very clearly. There's a heap of AstraZeneca. That's what's going to the construction.
Access, perhaps, their areas.
When did you provide that advice?
David, we are in the middle of a pandemic. We agreed to come for 1 hour, and you're just asking questions which are just aimed at just having a go. Can you actually bring...
The fact that he feels like they're having a go is really fucking telling.
You're the chairperson, and you should stick with what you agreed so Dr. Chan can get on with her work and stop carrying on like you're running for the Senate, for heaven's sakes. We know you're running for the Senate. Can we actually get on with
at
what
home
the arrangement was?
deflection?
The arrangement was we came voluntarily for 1 hour, and you're wasting her time.
Minister, I think that the committee has endeavoured to ensure this is an even-tempered exchange of information.
Well,
and I think that needs to be on both sides. I think that needs to be on both sides. My final question to you, Minister, and to Dr. Chand is this. The Premier repeatedly says that all of the decisions the government has taken has been on the basis of health advice. Yet it is apparent from the discussion we've had today that that's just one part of the matrix of information relied upon when the government has made decisions about timing of lockdowns, extension of...
I'm sorry, if you haven't been listening, that is not our issue. And that's the end of today's hearing. Thank you very much.
Well, Minister, I just simply note that we repeatedly have the Premier saying that the decision is all taken in accordance with the public health advice, yet clearly there are other issues. Now, I note that there's a point of order taken.
So basically what's going on, for those of you who don't know, Gladys Berejiklian said something about, we'll just bring down the number of, once we get 60% vaccinated, it's going to be all good. And that got her in deep shit with the Parliament because they're like, no, we need 1,000,000% vaccinated or we're not letting them out of their house. So, hence this meeting and hence old mate getting so butthurt about having to answer what should be simple and straightforward questions. He is the fucking health minister, for crying out loud. You'd think he'd be able to keep his shit together and answer a few questions. At one point, he's like, I talked to her on the phone at 9 o'clock last night, and then I talked to her again at 9 o'clock today. We're working so hard. Like, I don't know about any of you guys, but anybody who's been in any kind of, like, high position in a company, you're getting phone calls 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night, midnight, sometimes later, especially if you walk in on, like, a project that is, you know, massive in scope or has a deadline. You're not sleeping. Like, you are fucking working until that shit is done. This guy's taking home 400 or 500k a year and he's complaining about having to stay up and take a call at 9 o'clock and then, oh my God, talk again in the morning at 9 o'clock? Ugh, bitch, talk to a lawyer about working hours. Oh, shit. Anyway, boys, I'm out. I hope that was informative, and see you on the next one.